Today's video is brought to you by IronInfidel.com and the Battle Bottle, because dehydration sucks. All right, everybody, we're going to talk today about this Geissele URGI 14.5 because I did a video not too long ago about choosing the barrel length or the rifle length to go with whatever you want to do, or maybe an all-around style rifle. But I often hear the phrase a do-it-all rifle. And even though this 14.5 is amazing, this thing can do everything from up close to out to 1,000 yards. There is no such thing as a do-it-all rifle, and I know that's going to break some people's heart. But if you think about that, this rifle can do a lot. It can do most, but it can't do it all, because it may be able to do the up-close work and shoot out to 1,000 yards, but can it deliver effective energy out that far? But it can't shoot a mile like a Barrett 50 cal can, or longer than that. So there is no such thing as a do-it-all rifle. There is a do-it-most rifle, and that's what we're going to talk about today, and specifically how I have my do-it-most rifle set up, because this is going to be able to handle most things out there, including a little bit of distance, should you want to put a magnified optic. In this case, I have a flip-up 3-power here. So let's talk about, from the buttstock to the business end here, what this rifle is actually comprised of. And of course, I will have a build list so you guys can do all of your own research on these parts down below, so you can check that out. Starting back here on the end, I've got a Bravo B5 stock on here, one of my favorites, with an irregular defense cheek riser. The reason I have the cheek riser is because I'm using Unity mounts here. It's a little bit higher. You want to be able to get a good cheek weld, but you need that riser to be a little bit higher so you can keep that reference on your chin line there. Also, you'll notice that I have some tape over here. So there is a hole built into these stocks so you can see what position you're at should your tube be numbered. I hate that because it tends to pull your beard hair out, so I got rid of that. Standard QD point on the back of the receiver right there. If you want to run a 1-point sling, that's fine. Radiant Safety, one of my favorites. They make some of the best stuff in the market. B5 Systems grip again. And the last thing inside of this is going to be that Geissele single stage precision trigger. It's light, it's very, very clean and crisp on there. One of my favorite triggers to use. And overall, it's going to be an effective like combat style trigger. So it's not so light that it's competition or that it's going to freak you out there, but it's light enough to have a really good feel. It is super, super positive on the break and the reset, and it is very short. Up here, the URGI upper receiver. This is the URGI that Geissele proper sells. So it's got their NSN coded upper, so that is the cage code correct charging handle. It is the Geissele Cold Hammer Forge 14.5 barrel in this version. It will have the Geissele URGI bolt in there. And on the end here, it has a 3-prong on it, and I am using the Warden from Surefire because I don't want all the concussive blast going everywhere around me. So that blast diverter does help out a little bit. When it comes to the optic setup, I am running the flip to center here from Unity, and I am running a Unity riser on my EOTech right there. That EOTech is the OpMod version, which is a pretty solid setup. It's got a great reticle in it. EOTech's a well-proven optic at this point. And the nice thing is the riser here is a quick detach that you can see here on the side. So if I don't need the magnifier that day, I can quickly get rid of that and just run my optic. Working the way out front here on how I have this thing accessorized. Got a QD point here for a sling. I've got that. This sling is the Faro Concepts version. Awesome setup. You can quickly change this from shorter to longer. I've also got a setup out here where you can change this to a single point just by clipping in here. I don't remember the name of that company, but there's a ton of them out there. Really cool sling attachment here with this shot cord from Subrev Tech. It's a pretty slick design. You just kick it off like that when the sling's in there, and get your sling out and then put it back around there. Walker Defense Research rail covers on here with depressed silicon carbide in there. That's going to help you keep a good grip on there, but they're not going to be so aggressive that it's going to tear up your items because it's actually depressed in there. On the opposite end here, I am running a Modlite dual fuel light on there. This is the short version because it's a shorter rifle. I didn't need the long one. Running the Unity tactical button right there, which is one of the best ones out on the market. Surefire tail cap on there, so you've got an activation switch, pressure pad, and you've got a pressure pad in the back of the light should you have a failure. Running that on an Arasaka offset mount. Then I've got just a piece of pick rail up there because I was using this with a 5 to 25 Vortex to shoot this thing 1,000 yards. So I did leave that on there. And the last part up here on the rail is going to be the Strike Industries mini handbrake right there. It's good because whether you believe in pulling the rifle into you or stretching the rifle or just providing pressure with your shoulder, it's going to give your hand a very repeatable place to land on this rifle so you can still activate everything out on the front end. And again, this rifle was built pretty specific. I wanted something, since I trust this thing and I've shot it past 950 yards, and I'm also very comfortable with this thing in close environments. And the way it's set up is built for that specific reason. This is what I consider a do-it-most rifle. That 14.5 barrel is going to give us a little bit better ballistics, a little bit better velocity. It's going to give us better terminal ballistics when we're shooting a little bit further with good ammunition out there. Now, if you're using junk ammunition, it's not going to matter. But if you're using good self-defense or good match ammunition, that's when you're going to see the effectiveness of that round really pick up. And the 14.5 is kind of a sweet spot because you're maximizing your performance of your ammunition while minimizing weight, size profile, and all of that. But again, there is no such thing as a do-it-all rifle. And people that say that, they maybe aren't taking into account that people shoot a mile plus, and this is not going to do that. But there is a do-it-most rifle, and I think that this Geissele URGI 14.5 and other 14.5 variations out there can do most things that any of us are going to do out there on the range, because if you really want to shoot anything further than 550, maybe 600 yards with an AR, you're probably going to need to get into an 18-inch or a 16-inch DMR or something like that. But that is a video for another day. So make sure you check out ironinfidel.com. Get yourself into a battle bottle because dehydration sucks, and I'll see you on the next one.
Always confident.
All the mags in your dump pouch. All the mags. Except for that one. I think he's gone. Pretty sure he's gone. That's how you prepare for trench warfare right there.